So live your life that the fear of death can never enter your heart. Trouble no one about their religion, respect others in their view, and demand that they respect yours. Love your life, perfect your life, beautify all things in your life, seek to make your life long and its purpose in the service of your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the great divide. Always give a word or a sign of salute when meeting or passing a friend, even a stranger, when in a lonely place. Show respect to all people and bow to nobody. When you arise in the morning, give thanks for the food and for the joy of living. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies only in yourself. Abuse no one and nothing, for abuse turns the wise ones to fools and robs the spirit of its vision. When it comes to your time to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with fear of death, so that when their time comes, they weep and pray for a little more time to live their lives over again in a different way. But instead, sing your death song and die like a hero going home. It's Tecumseh, born in Kentucky, Shawnee warrior, Native American, born March 1768, dies October 5th, 1813, fighting for Native American liberation, Tecumseh. So, yeah, that's exactly like, I had a dog named Tecumseh Techie Tech. There's a couple, I'm real sad about him dying, and I feel like I'm always going to be really sad. Person maliciously, intentionally ran over him, and I don't know why. I don't know what I did that would have, deserved that. And so, the pain is just enormous. The pain is deep, never present, and never leaves. It never gets better. Time only kind of numbs it because it happened such a long time ago. But I don't want time in my memory to forget who my first puppy, my first dog, he was only 7 months old. So Techie Tech, I remember he went out and he got this big ass bone. We used to just go walking straight behind the house, bike riding in the morning, at night. I think that might have been the problem, because just like those two white supremacist men who chased that black man down, he liked to jog around the neighborhood, and these overweight white supremacist pieces of shit, they couldn't keep up, so they're jealous of this. What is that guy doing, riding a bicycle? Doesn't he know that this is supposed to be? So, yeah, we used to go walking just in the plains, and they knew where, like, the cache of cow bones, I think. Maybe deer bones, maybe antelope bones, I don't know. But there was random bones, and seemed like bone yards, but only like 5 or 6, so, they've been dead and gone forever. And they went to the boneyard, and he just popped up, and he had this big, gigantic bone, just this huge, with his bone, oversized bone for his, face, mouth, body, just this big-ass bone. And he, proudly carried it all the way back to the house. And when he got it back to the house, he never chewed on it or nothing. So I think it was just, look at this big-ass bone I got. And there's the way he used to tolerate Tim. I got a puppy, and they play a little bit now, but for the longest time, Tim didn't like the new puppy. He felt like he was impeding on his territory, and anytime the puppy just was curious and wanted to kind of hang out, then Tim was kind of like just growling at him, like over-the-top growl, like, just a tiny puppy, what are you? But Tecumseh was a very strong alpha dog, and I think he died for me. He sacrificed himself, his life. He loved me, and that's what a gift. I can't even begin to think like how I could repay somebody. And just like he had no fear of death, he was a kind, gentle dog. Chased asshole cars. You drive around stupid around here, you're revving your engine, stopping and going, and over here and over there, and yelling shit. Yeah, that's going to get them going. They're going to feel threatened about that. You just drive on, mind your business. They don't care. They just, okay. Well, there goes another car. So, yeah, kind, good dogs can feel the energy of the shitty asshole people. Some other things. Let's see, Techie Tech, old Techie boy. He was just a fantastic dog. He wasn't very obedient, but as I reflect on it, neither am I. And so, freedom was who Tecumseh was about. Tecumseh, what a fantastic name. When I say the name Tecumseh, it's just a fantastic name. To the earth, they're still alive, both my dog and that Native American Shawnee war leader, probably one of the greatest Kentuckians. You know, I keep on listing Abraham Lincoln and Colonel Sanders and Muhammad Ali and Tecumseh. Those are the four most badass, renowned Kentuckians ever. You can't fuck with those four. Those are some badass Kentuckians. Tech, he, whenever he wanted to get my attention, and he would try to bark at me, and I was kind of like, I do not like that. I want you to whimper. And, bark, hey, do as I tell you. No, you're gonna whimper. That's, and so he got the whimpering, and then that doesn't work. He wanted, the bark was like, do it now, and the whimper's like, please, will you, come on, I'm gonna keep whimpering and bothering till, and he just kept on getting a higher and higher pitch to his whimper, to where he was like, so even though, he grew up quick and he had kind of an older face, and he was a strong dog, and, I did it right. He was a good dog because he was strong. He didn't fuck with anybody that didn't fuck with him. And so he was a strong alpha dog, just tolerating Tim. Tim would sit there and just kind of rustle up against him or kind of nibble on him or something. And then, if Tech wasn't really feeling like playing, he was just kind of like, I could rip your head off, right? And then then he would just lay down. Tim and Tech were the bestest of friends. When I first got Tim, I got Tim for Tech, and then I got the new puppy for Tim. On the drive home, I was just kind of super excited because it's like, two brand, new strangers, and they're kind of, you're going to be brothers, and you're going to love each other. So I just started singing Tim and Tech and Tech and Tim and Tim and Tech and Tech and Tim. And, yeah, Techie Tech was just a fantastic dog. Always wanted to jump in the bed. He always wanted to sleep in the bed, but I was very strict about that, so he slept at the foot of the bed in the RV. And I remember actually the neighbor's dogs had come over one time, and Tim was being real protective of, right underneath the bed there's a little cubby hole, and there was a little Tim who's, timid, so he's usually pretty passive, pretty docile, and he's just growling like, this is my territory, you're not going to take it. This is my little safe spot. I'm going to stay right here. Tech was super athlete. He was super fast. He could keep up with me on a bicycle. He could keep up with me in a truck whenever I would jog. He liked to be Mr. Independent and run in front. Someone said that they think that they're, so you have to, I don't know if I like that. Tech was a puppy, kind of a big puppy when I got him. But I was faster than him when I first got him, and then within 2 weeks, he's outrunning me, and I'm trying to run, his pace and trying to keep up with him. And I think he knew that. He realized that he was physically stronger than this human that he depended on. And there was one time when he was under the bed, and I was trying to get him to do something, and I was pulling him out, and I was kind of being aggressive, like, do what I tell you. And he went to go bite me, and then he kind of thought twice, and he realized that he couldn't do it, and so he just had to sort of, come on, man. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm a little scared, right? A little nervous. Can't you give me a little? And I was like, don't you dare. And in his eyes, I could just kind of tell that he's like, oh, I don't want to. I don't want to hurt this one. So yeah, Techie Tech, he he had a death song, No Fear of Death. He chased the shithead cars, and actually even the shithead cars, I'm not even for sure he knew what was going on. He would throw dirt into the river, and the dirt would make a sound in the river, and then he would turn around and be like, "What? Who in the hell what is making that noise?" He could never figure it out. Every time I took a shovel, I would dig a hole and throw it, and he would bark at the dirt and bark at the shovel. When he would throw the dirt into the river, he would, kind of bark at the noise at the river and the splash, right? He'd dig, splash. Whoa, what is that? Something behind me? So his physics wasn't always on point. But he was pretty smart because we did so many things. He was capable of doing a lot of stuff. He wasn't obedient to anything, so he never, sat or gave me his paw or, the traditional. He would go get the Frisbee and then just keep running with the Frisbee. This is mine. This is my Frisbee. What do you mean? I did all the running. I got it. Now you just want me to hand it back? Yeah, the game is over if you... And I worked, he was actually, I had two, I figured it out. I tricked him. I had two Frisbees, and I would toss one, and then he would kind of start jogging back to show that he caught it, but he would never bring it to me, leaving about 10 feet. And then I would throw the other, and then he would drop that one and go chase the other one. So he would have figured it out eventually. He would learn by doing. He was, you learn by doing, right? You learn through experience, and he experienced life. He wanted to live every single moment. And I have mixed feelings about how, he was strong, and I think for a dog he had himself a nice life, right? They put him out to pasture, so that's, he had a lot of pasture. But I also was wanting him to, do what I want. I wanted his behavior to coordinate with what I thought was, what I approved of, and so I can't decide if I was too for freedom or too authoritarian. Where I am at right now, and I think it's actually it's a really good place to be, that I still believe my fundamental premise, for the first 10 years, you let the child be as independent as they possibly can, with only one rule: do no harm. After 10, you got to get them into society. My caveat now, what I learned, I'm evolving, that you can just let the wild beast do as they want, or you can, give them freedom, but for an hour, for 30 minutes, put some pressure on them to, go fetch the ball, for them to give me my slippers, for them to go get the newspaper, And so for 0 to 10, complete freedom, with the only pressure, 30 minutes to an hour, and then you got to let off. And then if they're not harming anybody, I don't see what the problem is, because they're trying to figure life out. And they need to be strong in mind, body, spirit. So yeah, they said if you want to have children, I would love to have children, that you need to have plants first, then animals, and then children. So you got to raise the plants successfully, then you got to raise the animals successfully. Once you've done that, then you can graduate to, popping a human being out into this world. So Tech taught me a lot. Tech actually, not only by example, because he was just an alpha dog. I think amongst his litter, he was the first one to jump out. So I feel like amongst his litter, he was just, the big tough bully taking everybody's food. And in fact, he liked to take food out of people's mouth better than he liked to eat out of his bowl. It's kind of, what are you eating? I want that. That's my food. So he was always an alpha, and I always felt like I had to one-up his, sometimes you got to be mean to dogs. They're animals. They don't know any better. Don't abuse them, and, try not to hit them if you get scratched or bit, or if there's an assault, a little tap to let them know, that violence is bullshit. But, yeah, what was I saying? Essentially, yeah, they're free, no abuse, no violence, and as long as they do no harm. If they hurt somebody else, you have to, I think you have to punish them. I think you have to put some pressure on them. And in the meantime, there's a lot of things that you yourself could do, right? It would be just so much easier. It's how lazy. Is it for a person just to be like, you know what, I'm going to have a kid, and I'm just going to bark orders at him and tell him what to do. I'm never going to talk to him and explain something. I'm just going to, shut up, sit, do this, do that. That's very lazy. That's very, very lazy. And in my way, I feel like with freedom, it's laid back, so it's leisurely. It's kind of, it's not as labor-intensive. But it's the only way to be. Without freedom, that's a necessary precondition for humanity. If without freedom, you're not a person. So freedom is an essential component of life. Can you, achieve happiness? Maybe, maybe not. The pursuit of the happiness, right? That's what the Constitution or Declaration says. But what do I want to? Techie Tech, old techie boy. Yep, good old Tecumseh. Tecumseh, apparently. And I like Tecumsehism. I feel like that's something, it's a little thing I could do, but when you see somebody, wave to them. But all these things, have a death song, have no fear of death, trouble nobody about their religion, respect their views, demand that they respect yours, live your life, perfect your life, beautify your life, seek to make your life long and its purpose in the service of your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the great divide. Always give a word or a sign of salute. When meeting or passing a friend, even a stranger, when in a lonely place. And Tecumsehism, I used to do that when I was younger. Just when you're passing someone, just, hey. And these are kind of narrow roads, so when I'm driving, I'm like, okay, don't hit him, don't hit him, don't hit him. Hey! And then I keep going. But I think it's just a kindly, friendly, gesture. It's mannerly. It's tiny. It's a little bit. And the idea of hello and the idea of, is I don't have a gun. And so it's kind of like, hi, I don't have a weapon. Look, And it only shows you one hand, right? How there could be a weapon in the other hand, but at least, you're going halfway, right? You're going halfway. Prepare a noble death song. I only got now the fascists are getting the lashes. Now you fascists are getting the lashes. For when you go over the great divide, always give a word or a sign of salute when meeting or passing a friend. Meeting or passing. So I feel like if you're in your house, you can't wave to every single person. But if you're out and about, you're kind of, in your vehicle, and if there's nobody, that's kind of a lonely place, right? So for passers-by, so always give a word or a sign of salute when meeting or passing a friend. When meeting or passing a friend. You meet them, of course, hey, how you doing, man, right? Give them some salutation. When you go by a friend, what's up, man? Or even a stranger in a lonely place. Even a stranger in a lonely place. Show respect to all people, but bow to nobody. When you arise in the morning, give thanks for the food and for the joy of living. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies only in yourself. Abuse no one and nothing, for abuse turns the wise one to fools and robs the spirit of its vision. You can't abuse because you rob the spirit of its vision. And Tech was really good at keeping the coyotes at bay. When it comes to predator control, coyotes apparently, killed puppies and shit. So, kept the coyotes at bay, protected me, protected this land from the fucking asshole criminal pieces of shit. If you see no reason for giving thanks, you're to blame. Abuse no one. Abuse turns the wise one to fools and robs the spirit of its vision. When it comes to your time to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with fear of death, so that when their time comes, they weep and pray for a little more time to live their lives over again in a different way. Sing your death song and die like a hero going home. Man, I actually read that, 10 years ago in college, and so I just kind of remembered, Tecumseh. It's just weird. When you say the name of the dead to the earth, they're still alive, and I've been saying Tecumseh for quite some time, and just now I'm kind of, re-researching him. I know I admire him and respect him. The biggest thing, one of the biggest things about Tecumseh, the biggest thing is in education, right? So I did all this education training. Who educated Tecumseh? He didn't go to no public schools. He didn't go to no classroom. They didn't sit in the lecture and tell him to shut up, sit down. He had got an education. His families were warriors, so therefore he's a warrior. His education was just the spirit of his heartbeat, the spirit of humanity on this planet. And the Native American, when I think about the ideal Native American, they're peaceful, they care, they, use all the animal, they don't just kill for the skins. They use all of the buffalo or the deer, and then they give, thanks to the Great Spirit that the animal gave its life for them. So they're very respectful. They were very communistic. There was wars amongst each other, but amongst each other they were very communistic. And there was a chief every once in a while, but it was pretty much egalitarian. Every person was democratic. They're all in camp. There's 10 of them. If there's a decision to be made for the whole camp gets together. Simple. Easy. That's no problem whatsoever. So when it comes to education, who educated Tecumseh? Who educated old Tech? Nobody educated Tech. Who educated my Tech? I tried to. Who educated me? And I guess I did really well in the sit-down, shut-up schools. Straight A's, valedictorian. But I just absolutely resent their entire draconian, authoritarian, dictatorship, anti-democracy, anti-union, anti-solidarity, anti-human. Because there's no freedom or democracy. We expect these children to go through these authoritarian government schools being leaders of democracy. You got to speak up. You got to speak up, and you got to understand, the process, and there's a lot of stuff to it. So education, who educated Tecumseh? Tecumseh's a badass because he wanted a general Native American war against the white man. And if you look at history, 10 million, 100 million genocided. So Tecumseh was 100% right. He had a right to protect his land and protect his property and protect where he had grown up his entire life. Kentucky and Ohio. He defeated the U.S. Army 2 times, St. Clair's defeat, and Hamar's defeat. So he defeated Hamar, he defeated St. Clair. He was born and raised in Kentucky. His father is Puck Shinwa. Puck Shinwa is going to get killed in the Battle of Point Pleasant when the British Royalists, with Daniel Boone, when they were all, British. All the, those assholes, the Patrick Henry, maybe George Washington, they all, invaded Western Virginia to attack the Shawnee, killed Puck Shinwa. And, so there's Tecumseh who educated Tecumseh? Nobody educated him. The trees, the forest, the environment of ancient Kentucky is what, trained Tecumseh. Chasing those white-tailed deers and running in the forest and the streams and all the greenery. There's a Garden of Eden. There was about 20 tribes that had existed in Kentucky before the white man wiped them all out. Tecumseh was 100% right, but who told him? Where did that knowledge come from? And then he was so passionate, so it wasn't like, he's like, oh yeah, somebody told me this, and maybe it's right. No, he was like, this is right. This is wrong. This is right. I can't like the War of 1812 because, they killed Tecumseh. That should tell you everything you need to know about the War of 1812. Henry Clay, fuck you, you slave-owning piece of shit. You started a fucking war for no apparent reason, just to show that the British that were mighty or some shit, to liberate Canada and to steal goddamn Tecumseh's land, to steal Ohio and to steal Iowa and all that Midwestern land and so-called Northwest Territory. George, why'd they have to fucking kill? Why'd they have to use violence and terror and kill? Why couldn't we integrate it? Hell, that would have been, this is all of us, We are one with the Great Spirit. Me is a we and we is a me. We are all one. We are all one. So yeah, I think this is just, and then look at all this philosophy. Be kind to strangers. That's not what these white people are saying. That's not what these white criminal pieces of shit that likes to run over people's fucking dogs are saying. To live with no fear in your heart. Have a death song. Have a death song. And die like a hero going home. Tecumseh had no fear. That asshole drove up here, acting like a fucking dick. He takes off. I said, come back here. He never listened. Kept on going. That motherfucker drives down the road, comes back, hiding right under there, and then eventually, comes right in front of the house, completely stops. Maybe 1 mile an hour or some shit, but almost, waits for Tecumseh to get right in front of the tire, guns it, cracks his neck. He's jogging over to me. His mouth's open, full of blood. And he made it all the way to the house. That's like 200, 300 feet. So with a broken neck, my buddy, my little dog, said, "Papa, something's wrong. This hurts really bad." And he actually seemed like he was galloping, like he was happy. I was looking at his leg. Something had cracked. Did he break a leg? Walked all the way to me. And then eventually stretched his neck out and then collapsed. And then his eyes was like, "I'm in pain. This is a terrible experience. I don't know what's happening to me right now. I'm dying. I'm dying." And I feel bad. And it feels like I wasn't a good father. I should have protected my dog better. I guess that's the biggest one. I should have protected my dog better, you know. My dog was innocent. He wasn't going to hurt nobody that wasn't going to hurt him. If that fucker would have opened his door, he would have got right in and went home with him. So, yeah. Good old Techie Tech. You know, anger is a part of the emotional experience, but the pain, I think the anger I can handle. It's the pain. It's the pain that's unbearable. And so I guess I gave something to my dog that I personally don't have myself. I don't believe in an afterlife. I think when you die, that's it. That's the end of your chapter. That's the end of your consciousness. That's the end of your experience. And the gods actually looked at, at us with envy and summer. The gods live forever. But a mortal man, they could become a fucking hero in this little tiny gladiator arena. In the few years that they're here, they can topple not only men, giants, dragons, they can topple gods. And so, when you die, that's all there is. And so what I would like when I die, I want someone to just put their hands on my arms, just hold my arms, and let me just slip off softly. If it seems inevitable. If it don't seem inevitable, tell me to fight and rage and get my cells popping and percolating, get in my veins. God damn it, you gotta fight this. That's the only way you're gonna fucking beat this. You gotta fight this. It's only gonna be you. You're just gonna lay there until you fucking die. Fight. Try that first. But who's there to remember me? Who's there to take a picture? Who's there to say, this person was on this planet and I loved them? So, things could have been better all around. He stayed with me through the winter. He was with me through the tough times. And that's the hardest time to be with somebody, is through the tough times. So I got nothing, infinite respect for my stupid, dumb animal named Tecumseh. Yeah. So, yeah, Tecumseh. Tecumseh, Tecumseh, Tecumseh. Like Beetlejuice, right? Come back alive. Tecumseh, 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 Tecumseh. Anyways. John Masters, Aluvetti, Colorado, USA. August 13th, 2020. Peace.